So we've got this 1990, obviously does not have the VG in it. It's got another LS in it. So we actually have both LS Z32s here, and they're both slick tops. So we got John's white one in for a bit of maintenance, and we've got Larry's, who we did a clutch. So we did our clutch and flywheel kit, running our 370Z clutch with the LOJ flywheel. So replaced the insert on that bad boy. And Larry bought the car with the LS already in it, already swapped. We're gonna go ahead and basically went ahead and diagnosed a bunch of stuff that was wrong with it. And Larry's gonna take care of some of the stuff on his own. But the biggest thing is we wanted to see the condition of the tune and see how well it ran. And so when we first got it on the dyno, couldn't even make a full pass. It was just running way too lean. Super, super lean. Of course, we knew that because we put a fuel pressure gauge, and this is running the early Corvette fuel filter regulator combo, which, you know, leaves a lot to be desired. So we went ahead, put a genuine AC Delco one on there just to check a few things, bypass the fuel pump controller. Still were having issues, so we pulled the assembly out and we found that it already had an upgraded fuel pump, but there were bare wires for the positive and negative on the pump, and there was also a split in the hose, so that's not gonna help get fuel pressure. So we went ahead, fixed all that stuff, and, you know, not too surprised, even with a 340 liter per hour pump, it's overriding the crappy fuel filter regulator combination that these earlier Corvettes had, right? As far as the engine and fuel setup combination goes. So we're making about 80 PSI. Yeah, it's a bit too much. Factory spec on these is just under 60 PSI, but we were able to at least get a good dyno pass on it. It's running a bit too rich, especially down low. Cleans itself up a little bit as it gets up to the higher RPMs, but we were able to see it making decent power. I'm by no means an LS guru. I don't know a whole lot about these things, aside of doing the one swap we did on John's and doing a little bit of basic maintenance on these. So it has a set of the V2 AFR heads. Not sure what it has for a cam. It's got the cast exhaust manifolds from Cook's, and it did, you know, fairly well, especially considering it's got, you know, a calibration that's way too rich. Just cracked 400. This thing should really wake up. I'm gonna guess it might actually make closer to 500 wheel, is how far off it is. I don't know what it has for the amount of timing. Again, we're only on 91 octane, but it's doing a whole hell of a lot better. So what I would ultimately recommend to make sure fuel pressure is good is a set of Holley fuel rails and throwing in a fuel pressure regulator that's adjustable, of course, and getting rid of that fuel filter regulator combination that's on there now. So get rid of all that. You can throw, you know, any fuel filter on there. Stock Z32 fuel filter would suffice. Anything aftermarket, anything that's just got good filtration. Aeromotive 10 micron would work as well. So seeing that, getting the base fuel pressure down, it could be tuned as is now, but it's a good idea to get the fuel pressure where it needs to be for factory spec. So with that being said, not too shabby, you know, considering it was an NA. You know, I always still particular to the VG. A lot of guys, you know, hate on the VG because it can break, it's problematic. Really, that's only really true if you don't get the good parts and good workmanship. You know, there's a whole magnitude of things that need to be correct when you're doing any build, especially on a VG, but nonetheless on any motor, right? There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but I love my VG. These are cool. It's not bad, I guess, to see it on an NA. But nonetheless, this thing is going to be running a lot better than how it came in, and it has even more potential going into the future. All right, so blue is the very first baseline pull that we made with all the fuel system issues that it had. Obviously, fuel pressure was terrible. AFRs were super lean. Power was definitely better early on because we have these two extremes. We have an extreme of it's kind of in there, it's definitely lean. It's too lean, but it's way too rich now with our fuel pressure and fuel pump fix. It isn't until it gets into higher RPMs, it starts to lean out a little bit and it starts making a whole bunch more power over where it was before. So, you know, got to about 268 before, now we're about 405, but all of this will dramatically improve. As mentioned, who knows, it might even get close to about 500 of the tire. I don't know what it's got for advance in it, but yeah, it's gonna feel like a whole another car.